All right, guys, thinking about selling or buying in Sherman Oaks, everyone wants to know, is this really the best time to sell a house in Sherman Oaks? Will the market go up or down? And what does buying in Sherman Oaks look like as we head into 2026? Stay tuned because today we're going to be breaking down what is really happening with homes for sale in Sherman Oaks. Now, according to Yahoo Finance, this is one of the toughest negotiating climates in years. Across the country, home sales are falling apart. In June alone, 15% of all pending home sales contracts fell through, the highest cancellation rate since 2017. Now, why is this? Buyers are pushing back hard on prices and repairs, while sellers, who are sitting on low mortgage rates and big equity, are refusing to budge. When these negotiations stall, the deals die. And this just isn't a national issue, it's a Sherman Oaks issue as well. We're seeing more repair standoffs, buyers demanding credits or big ticket fixes, and sellers just saying flat out no. That means homes are sitting longer, buyers are walking away, and sellers are yanking listings rather than compromise. It feels like a standoff, and if you're buying or selling in Sherman Oaks right now, you can feel that tension in every negotiation. Next, there's even talk of removing capital gains taxes on home sales, a move that could push more longtime owners to list, potentially adding even more supply for buyers and adding downward pressure on price. So, what does this actually look like on the ground? Let's take a look at the current homes for sale in Sherman Oaks, what's selling, see if prices are moving in up or down in different price ranges. I'm going to pull up live listings on the MLS and show you how inventory is stacking up in each category, so you can see exactly where the market is hot, where it's cooling, and what price points are the most competitive. All right, guys, so we're going to shift over to our Altos report, and I'm going to go over what's going on with the market action index. And after I'm done with this, we're going to switch over to our favorite, the MLS, so we can take a look at some listings. So here we are, right? Sherman Oaks, California. If you can see the highlighted section here for Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. This week, the median list price for Sherman Oaks, California is $2,490,000 with the market action index hovering around 30. So take a look at this graph right here, guys. You can see anything below 30 is in a buyer's market, and anything above 30 is considered a seller's market. So in reality, we're in a balanced market, right? So it says right here, the market action index has been trending lower for several weeks, while prices have remained relatively stable. And if inventory continues to grow relative to demand, it's likely it will see downward pressure on pricing. So what is this basically saying? It's saying for Sherman Oaks in general, houses are starting to sit on the market a little bit longer, and it's putting pressure on price. So let's just scroll down here. So here's what the market action index has been doing since January of this year, right? So you can see it was all the way up at 54.29 in between January and February, which is more of a seller's market. As inventory has piled up into the spring, you can see how it's starting a downward trend and moving towards a buyer's market. As you can see, in August, we're down into the 25 range, right? And that's typical of the seasonality of the market. So once you get to August, you start to see a little bit more inventory piling up, less buyer demand, they're out of town, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to switch to a couple more things here. Let's look at inventory. So here we are from and I'll do the 7-day average. So here we are from January to August, and you can see the trend line on the inventory rising and rising and rising. So it looks like we actually peaked at 162 units in Sherman Oaks, dropped down to 144 after July, most likely because there were some sales. And there definitely is a market, and homes are selling. It just depends on the price range and the location. And then, as you can see, inventory is piling back up. It is currently in the 153. So that's what's going on in inventory. And then let's look at properties with a price decrease. Again, we'll look at the 7-day average. So this is interesting. So properties with a price decrease. So you can see this number goes way down here in February. And it's probably because it's the beginning of the year and there aren't as many listings on the market. There may be other reasons, but look at what's happening since then. This is when all the listings are starting to hit the market and inventory is starting to pile up. It's interesting. One would argue that beating the market and getting out there early was favorable for sellers who listed their property in February. Because look at only 13% of homes had a price decrease. And then as we go on along into the year, into April and May, almost 30% of the homes experience price decreases. And then as you can see, we're all the way up to 35, almost 36%. So again, that's just time of the year, more inventory coming to market, taking longer for those units to sell. And then last but not least, let's cover average days on the market. So the average days on the market, again, jumped way down early in the year, not as much competition. Actually, look at average days on the market has been declining. That's a very positive trend line right there. I'd have thought we would be down here and see average days on the market rising, but it's actually lowering. So that could be for a variety of reasons. People taking their houses off the market, some houses trading. Let me look at median days on market and see what that looks like. So the median days on the market, the point at which days on the market is higher or lower based on the median, that's actually declining. So here you are, you've got a reduction in inventory. And then as listings start to come out, we see a little bit more of an increase. So that's what's going on our Altus report. I'm going to take you over to the MLS. Again, I'm going to break this down into 1.5 to 2 million, 2 to 2.5, 2.5 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So if your home is in a specific price range, please feel free to go right to that price range and you'll see what's going on. So here is 1.5 to 2 million dollars. And if you look over here, you can see how many units there are in each category. If you add the one coming soon listing with the 48 active listings, there's 49 homes for sale in Sherman Oaks that are between 1.5 and 2 million. Let me make sure I've got the sales in there. And I've got 14 under contract and I've got 13 solds. Okay, so if you take away these 27 homes that are under contract and having sold in the last 30 days, and you're looking at 49 listings. Now, look, if you break it down, you've got a lot of listings south of the boulevard. You got a lot of listings north of the boulevard. You got some south of the 101. So as you can see, they're fairly spread out. So the reality is that, people are searching based on school district. Maybe they want to be south of the boulevard. So you're not competing against 49 listings if you're a home seller priced between 1.5 and 2 million. If you're south of the boulevard in, let's say, Dixie Canyon Elementary, which may be this area over here, then you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 homes that you're competing against. I think this is probably 10. This is under contract. Only these one. So as you can see, as you go into like certain locations, sometimes the competition is greater than it is in others. This is Sherman Oaks Elementary area, Sherman Oaks Charter, and you can see how many homes there are. I mean, there's a lot more for sale there. Um, this area here is Riverside Elementary, so you've got 5, 6, 7, 8 listings there. And then again, some of these are in Dixie Canyon. So let's just have a quick peek and see what's going on. I've watched the market pretty carefully, and I can show you, anything that I think is a really good buy. I mean, that's a pretty good location there. Let me see. This is one on Scadlock. This is a cool architectural looking spot south of the boulevard. Needs a lot of work. 1,549,000. I think it's a fair value. I mean, this is easily a $2 million home if it's fully remodeled and fixed up. I think more. As you can see, it needs a lot of work. Let's see, what else do we got? This is a rendering of a James home. So this is basically for the land. Let's see what else. I'm just going to go to some properties that I know. Woodcliff south of the boulevard. You've got a multi-level upslope property there. As you can see, it's 1,599. I mean, that's a decent value. Here's a cool looking house on Round Valley. Let me see if I can take you guys to something that I like and know of that I can talk to you about. That's on Magnolia. They actually sold this one a while back. They fixed it up and then tried to resell it. This was a single level ranch on an R3 lot on the corner of Riverside and Mary Ellen that they tried to fix and then have been trying to sell it for a little while. Let me see, what else do we have here? This is a Melantine south of the boulevard on Camino de la Cumbre. It's down to 1,930,000. It needs work. They put money into it. Oh no, no, never mind. They fixed this up. This was bought and sold like maybe 10 years ago. And look, they dropped in a little bit of a pool there too. That was a Melantine that was fixed up. Let me see what else I've got. Here's a newer 74 days on the market. It's a $45,000 price reduction. This is Fashion Square. This is a really actually, is this Fashion Square or is this Valley Heart? No, this is Valley Heart Glen. So this is a sweet little pocket. This is a one-level ranch that's got some really nice updates. 74 days on the market. This house would have traded in seconds. I shouldn't say seconds, but this house would have traded within 30 days last year. So that's the difference between that last year and this year. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk to you guys about. Here's a cool one on Glen Ridge. This is definitely a nice looking home. So this is south of the boulevard on Glen Ridge. I'm going to take you back over to the client details short, take you right back to the listing. Here are the photos. This is a two-story garage below. Come upstairs and you go into your unit. Nice white plank flooring, updated kitchen, beautiful sliding door to the backyard views, turfed area, sitting area. There's your backyard. 1,998,000. A really good value. I'm pretty certain they're getting activity on this one. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to show you guys. Quite a few listings, a bit of competition. Here's one on Pacheco. This is a cool house. This is a mid-century post and beam architectural home. These are the types of homes that usually trade like in any market. It's asking to touch more than $1,000 a square foot. I think it's a good value. I could see in a good market this being closer to $2,000,000, $1,200 a square foot. Excellent example of mid-century modern post and beam residential architecture. Let's see, what else do we got? This is my buddy Andrew's listing on Lakota. I like this house. This is a beautiful home. It's got levels, it's got view, it's got the sun spa, decks and levels and nooks and crannies, which isn't for everybody, but just a great hillside property, really nice views. And that is an incredible value at 1,799,000. So many more listings for us to look at, guys. All right, let's take it to 2,000,000 to 2.5 and let's see what's going on. All right, guys, here we go. All right, so 2 to 2.5, you've got 37 homes on the market, 6 under contract, and 10 trades in the past 30 days. Once we get to the 2 to 2.5 range, you're starting to see more homes on the market and a few less sales. So that's what's going on there. I'm just going to go by knowledge and cover a few photos that I like. I've been caravanning this price range a little bit. Here's a house on Long Ridge Terrace. This is on Long Ridge, south of the boulevard. This is a, story and a half traditional, lovely home, original tiling, really good location south of the boulevard, asking 2,295 at 3,142 square feet. A lot of square footage for the price. Let's see, what else do I want to cover with you guys? This is a cool house on Davana that's 2,600 square feet, 2.4. That's been on the market for 67 days, was listed originally at 2,478. Contemporary, modern style residence, carport, south of the boulevard in a prime location, kind of a treehouse style vibe. Again, this is the type of house that would have traded pretty quickly prior to this year. Let's see, what else do we have? Got to be another one or two that I'm going to show you that I really liked. This is an interesting one, guys. This is in my geographical farm. This is Hidden Woods. So this is almost a 10,000 square foot lot, and they wound up closing for 1,925,000. This is a lesson in the difference in the marketplace. This is basically a developer special. This is a beautiful lot in a prime location in Sherman Oaks. It had the curb appeal on this house is fantastic. Before I go to the photos, let me show you. Let's see. I think it was listed higher than 2,099,000 originally. Yep, there you go. 2,499 down to 2,399 down to 2,299 down to 2,099,000, and then boom, it finally sold for 1,925,000. Let's see, where's that listing go? And that's just basically a product of the market. What an incredible curb appeal. I can change the front door, replace the windows, and paint the outside, and just have an incredibly modern, beautiful, modern looking home with a really strong front elevation, and I'd be set. The problem with the inside of the house was the layout. You had to go through the living room, through the dining room, into the kitchen, which was like teeny tiny. and then through the kitchen to get to this family room. So this family room's on the other side of the kitchen. So in order to get to this family room, you got to go through the dining room, through the kitchen, into the family room. So the layout just wasn't ideal. You had an office, maids, nanny quarter. Then you had guest bedroom were upstairs. I believe there were three. I can't remember. Or no. The upper primary was by itself above, and then had two bedrooms downstairs. The whole layout just need to be reconfigured. This is the family room, I believe, downstairs, and then there's a detached parking garage. Really, here we go. Really incredible property, but as you can see how it worked itself on the lot. So I don't know if there's a setback requirement here, but my guess is that the front elevation stayed the same. You could demo out the pool, move the garage over here, and then take the family room and all this and pull it out over here and have, a two-story home with a footprint there, and then, a big usable backyard with a garage space there. So anyways, that's just kind of a picture of what's going on in the market in that range. Here we are. Let's go 2.5 to 3 million. So here we go, 2.5 to 3 million. 30 homes for sale, only one under contract. Ouch. And five sales in the last 30 days. So five closings, not terrible. 30 homes for sale and only one under contract is not ideal. So that's a little bit of a problem. Let's see. Let me pick a couple of my favorite properties that I think are a good value. Here's one. I think I interviewed for this one. Lovely house, sparsely staged. I mean, look, this is an example, in my humble opinion, how not to do it in this market, right? I do believe the house might have been repainted. I can't tell from the photos, but you can see how it's like some of this is their furniture. It's probably missing pops of color. Architecturally speaking, it's very pretty, but it's really monochromatic. Maybe a little bit of art on the walls, perhaps different bedding, different flooring might make this room look more flattering. And the house is green, which I think is okay. It depends on the color green, right? If the green is like kind of a green, it's maybe not the most desirable color. If it's a kind of a forest looking darker green, that works. Again, monochromatic in here. I think like a nice white chair with a different color towels might have made that pop a little bit better. There you go. So this is a room with color. I probably would have taken one of these pieces and moved it to the middle, maybe move the horse. I'm not sure. But anyways, this looks good. It's got a pop of color. It's got good linens. So anyways, that's kind of like, it's important to make sure that your home looks really, really good for the market. Here's one that's on Atoll in Sherman Oaks. This is in my farm. They're asking $960 a square foot. This is a beautifully remodeled home. As you can see, you've got the iron gate in the front. By the way, this is a very cool color on the house. It's not black, it's not gray, it's not blue. It's like in between all three of them. Beautiful olive tree in front. This is like a line, a travertine walkway that it just has a certain look. You can see it's got the little lighting here, wispy Mexican flower grass. This is basically about as good as you can do. Check out this backyard. This is turfed, beautiful splash pool, Ipe decking, beautiful concrete work with sand finish, stone driveway. These are just all really, this is exactly what you need to do in order to appeal to the highest buyer and get the most money per foot. Formal dining space is small. As you can see, it's got a bench there, but it works. Tight living spaces, beautiful tile fireplace, nice powder, 4 beds, 4 baths. Love the vanity there. This is the kitchen. So the kitchen is connected to the living area and the dining area over there, but it's like kind of where's the TV go? I don't know. Maybe you put the TV there, maybe there. I'm not really sure how that gets set up. Beautiful finishes. See, let me go back to the living room. Yeah, I mean, you probably have to do like a sectional or something like that, and then do TV over the fireplace. Beautiful primary sliding doors. This is the garage space. And by the way, this is an awesome thing that you can do with your garage. If you've got a detached garage, I highly, highly, highly recommend you do this. This is one of the easiest, low-hanging fruit, best ways to make your property worth more. You drywall the garage, you paint it. You don't have to put a mini split system in there. You can just kind of show the future of what the space would look like. Leave the garage door and put a rug and put some furniture down. and stage it up as like, another rumpus room. That's just I love that. All right, guys, let's go to 3 million. I don't want to keep you guys too long. Let's go to 3 to 4. Again, that's a big spread right there. Usually someone who's going to buy a $3 million house isn't going to buy a four. But the interest of moving this thing along, I'm gonna go there. And here we are. So 29 homes on the market, 4 under contract, not bad, 6 trades. So still looks like a little bit more of a buyer's market in this price range. Let's take a look at some of these listings. Let me see if there's one that I like. Lots of new construction, as you can see. Pretty much all of these are new construction. Look, guys, new construction, new construction. So new construction, newer 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 construction. This is a cool architectural house. I actually interviewed on the listing for this a few years back. Looks like they left the polished marble or travertine floors, but this has got a really cool look to it. A really cool contemporary house. Wood floors there in the kitchen. Staged up really nicely, high ceilings. Very cool property, guys. This is 3.6 and it's 4,300 square feet, $818 per square foot. But new construction, new construction, new construction, new construction, new construction, new construction, new construction. That's a cool architectural house south of the boulevard. This is in Long Ridge Estates. Older in A little bit older and dated in terms of like the features and the way you would build a house today, but still very cool. This one on Deer Vale is 2,700 square feet, 3 beds, 2 baths, asking 3,845 at 2,700 square feet. Look, I get it. It's got jetliner views, but look, guys, this is a 10 to 15-year-old remodel. It doesn't have much land. It's got a pool and a little grassy patch and then a deck, but almost $4 million for that is a lot of money. Here's a good value here. This is a 8,700-foot lot, 4,000 square foot. It's not brand new construction, built in 2022, 3,975. That probably has some room to go down. You can see it's got the older color garage door and front door. I think I would change those out and that might make it look nice modern finishes throughout. And I think the biggest problem in terms of it trading is the small backyard. So it's got a little patch of grass here and then outdoor pool, small lounge area, and then a deck. So not much space in the backyard, which is probably influencing that one. What else do we got? Again, new construction. This was a good one. This one traded pretty quickly, guys. This was 4,100 square feet, not new construction at all. 1925, remodeled several times. Stansbury Estates. You can see the smooth stucco finish on the outside, Spanish tile roof. Again, not the same as everybody else. Beautiful landscaping. Love the Mexican tile there on the front and in the back. So just that vibe. You can just tell this house has a vibe. Actually, this is the front yard. That's the front courtyard off the dining room. Notice the radius window there. Older floors there, high ceilings. Okay, beautiful living room. I walked it. This is the kitchen. Mexican tile, Satillo tile in the kitchen. Opens to the family room. Kind of a contemporary Spanish. Detached guest house in the back. Seagrass wallpaper there. Um, but this came on the market and it traded pretty quickly. Detached guest house right here, which is hard to find. Conversation areas, fire pit, pool, a lot going on in this property. A very, very, gosh, would I say it's a great value? I mean, I think it's a good value. It's in a supreme location, $976 a square foot. This one, can't believe, finally sells. This one was on the market for, look at this, since 2023. On the market since 2023. I mean, just a fantastic property. Finally found its number, got under 4. Huge, huge lot, prime Sherman Oaks location, guest house. That's my buddy Craig. He's a fantastic real estate agent. That guy worked this listing to the bone and he got the job done. At least I think it's an escrow. Just an incredible property. Beautiful, grandiose scale, beautiful finishes. Really good property. And then these are the ones that are under that have sold, again, all new construction. Here's a good one, guys. I'm going to point this out to you. This is on Stonesboro, south of the boulevard, off of Stone Canyon. And the reason I want to point this out is it got $1,150 per square foot. It was 3,065 square feet, got 3,525. But look at the design here. Look at this, the sanded finished, garage door here. Check out this like deep green with this fire, the juxtaposition with the stone color. I mean, this is a really, really strong look with the block windows. Like, I really, really loved it. All right, guys, let's go back. Let's wrap this thing up. I'm gonna go 4 to 5, and then I'm gonna go 5 up, and then we're just gonna call it a day. Let's see, and then here's 5 million. All right, here we go. 4 to 5. As you look at how the inventory just drops. Now, part of it is there's not a lot of $4 or $5 million houses in Sherman Oaks south of the boulevard. Some of it is off market properties that developers don't want sitting on the market, causing days on the market to reduce. So even though it says there's only 8 units available, one under contract and one trade, there's probably a little bit more inventory on it. Again, most of this new construction. Hey, I looked at this one today. I love this house. This is listed by Eric Matthew Yetter. He's a buddy of mine. This is a fantastic house south of the boulevard in Stansbury Estates. This is Holly Line. It's a canyon. You never know that this house was even there. You've got a guest house down here below and the main residence up above. I love this beautiful shot down to the front gate. This is the upper level, the main home, living room. Kitchen could use a little bit of updating. Love this room right here. Don't shoot me, but I'd paint the wood like a cool color, like a cool gray blue, and it would be just a stunning room as it is. I just actually walked this today. This is the primary, beautiful remodeled bathrooms. Little updating in the kitchen, but man, this could just be an incredible property. The retaining wall work, the concrete pours on this property are absolutely stunning. All right, guys, that's the 4 to 5. And then last but not least, let's do 5 plus. There should be a few. There you have it. 9 homes on the market, 2 under contract, and 1 sold. Not bad to have 2 under contract. As you can see, they're both 5.3 and 5.4, and you've got the highest listings at 10. Some of these have been on the market for quite a while. Again, a little bit sluggish. Okay, so this was Avril Lavigne's house. I don't know whose house it is now. This is Long Ridge Estates. This is a 10,000 square foot home, asking 13 million. Just an incredible home. It's gated, big circular drive, 2-story, balcony up front, up top, as you can see, incredible frontage, double staircase, high ceilings, absolutely a beautiful, beautiful space. Room for art on your walls, big kitchen, kind of a den tea room there, awesome bar, and beautiful finishes. A ton of money when this is the basement area upstairs. I walked in this house a couple of years ago. They captured this and remodeled this space in here. Looks like they put in a fireplace, put in wood flooring, massive backyard, sport court, basketball hoop, bocce ball court, pool, barbecue area, sitting area, completely private. This is a great look at the back of the house. So anyways, guys, that's what's going on in the 5 plus. Let's take a look at these ones that are under contract. This is south of the boulevard on Woodman, 5,200 square feet. Garage door is graphically enhanced, which is interesting. This home is built. So as you can see the trend here, guys, you've got the juxtaposition of the old world with the stacked stone and the smooth coat finish there with these modern see-through glass doors. This is not a rendering. This is an actual house. Modern with the finishes there, kind of a little bit warmer versus the older school. Rich slabs of marble there. It might even be quartzite. Nice backyard. That's the one that's traded. That is under contract currently. And then here's another one right here. Okay, I showcased this one last week. I love this house. This is south of the boulevard on Dixie Canyon. An absolutely incredible home. $1,100 a square foot, 10,000 on the lot. Beautiful kitchen. Dixie Canyon is like Long Ridge Estates adjacent. High ceilings, beautiful flooring. It looks like it's pine, this open space. Designer finishes. The staircase is in the middle of the home. This is the primary upstairs. Check out this like backyard area. Super sweet. Love this vertical shot here with the dining table, pool area here, sport court, outdoor sitting area. Just a cool house. All right, guys, that's it. I appreciate your following and watching our market update. Stay tuned. Like, subscribe, comment. Hit us up 818-217-1767. If you're looking to sell and have questions about the market, or you want some tips or tricks on what to do, feel free to give me a call. And stay safe. And see you in the next one. Bye bye.